Hello and welcome in from Red Wilson Field here in South Yarmouth. The YD Red Sox taking on the Brewster Whitecaps on this Tuesday afternoon, right into first pitch here from Red Wilson, getting started a couple of minutes early. Gavin Bruni on the mound for YD, facing off against Jonas Sebring, and the first pitch comes home. Cut on and missed for strike one. 4:42 our start time, getting going a little earlier than usual today. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei alongside, as always. Thanks so much for joining us. 0-1 drops down low. It's a ball and a strike to Sebring. Gavin Bruni, the Ohio State Buckeye. Junior left-hander out of Alliance, Ohio, getting his first start of the year. The 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball that falls in there for strike two. He's appeared once in relief this season for the Red Sox a week ago today, and a win against Harwich. 6-2 was the score in that one. He went 2 1/3 and got the winning decision in that game. 1-2 high and away. Gave up just one hit, walked 4 batters, but was able to keep the outing scoreless, and his Ohio State teammate Landon Beidelshees came in behind him and picked him up, stranding a couple of runners on base that he was responsible for to keep that outing a scoreless one. 2-2 the count to Sebring, and he lifts it up right side of the infield, making his way over. Dub Gleed has the room, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning.
The left fielder out of Florida State, number 33, James Tibbs.
Brings up James Tibbs for Brewster. This is a makeup game from last week. These two teams were supposed to meet at Red Wilson Field. That game was rained out. It was not raining during game time, but some rain in the morning destroyed the field here at Red Wilson. And it was unplayable for the Red Sox. They nearly had a rain out the next day as well, but they were able to play that game. And so they are just 2 games behind the initial schedule. YD will be making up that second game the day after the All-Star game on Sunday in the evening at Eldridge Park against Orleans, as the 1-0 flies up high to Tibbs. Florida State Seminole hitting .277 this year, 4 home runs and 14 driven in.
Unfortunately for YD, today was a scheduled off day, as is Sunday, but those will both be wiped out.
It's ahead 3-0.
And the team, it really shortens their bullpen because you have to bring out those arms, and you don't even get the one off day where nobody has to pitch, and especially right after the All-Star game, YD has 6 guys playing, including 2 pitchers.
3-0 is flared foul, and it stresses the importance, Perri, of what we saw yesterday with Jason Doktorczyk. We talked about it a little bit and off the air. Doktorczyk probably isn't pitching the 9th yesterday if you have today off. His pitch count was very high out of the bullpen, as the next pitch is dealt up high for ball 4 to Tibbs, so he will walk, and that'll bring up Brock Tibbetts. But because you don't have that off day, you don't really want to use that extra pitcher out of the bullpen. You want to save it, as you're going to have to play a number of games in a row here. And so with Doktorczyk already out for the next few days, given how high his pitch count was, he was able to wear that final inning, get through it in pretty efficient fashion, actually, with 2 strikeouts and a flyout to win you the game and save a bullpen arm who will be available for the game today.
Might have even been his best inning of the day. He really only got better as he went along.
0-1 cut on and missed. Yeah, it was very strong. He struck out the first 2 batters of that inning in Kalen Culpepper and Mason Guerre, the 3-4 hitters, too, in the meat of the Harwich order on the tail end of a 7-3 victory for YD yesterday. 0-2 drops down and away for ball 1. Harwich, with the loss yesterday, dropped into 3rd place for the first time in a long time. These two teams have been at the top of the standings since pretty much the second week of the season. Bruni throws over. The last time that YD sat atop the league standings and Harwich was in 3rd was back in early June. These two teams have been at the top of the division, I should say, for a while, as the 1-2 is cut on and missed. Tibbetts thought he might have had a piece of it, but regardless, it ends up in the glove there of Ryan Stafford. 2 gone in the first inning. And a runner on first for Josh Pearson. First pitch on the way, and it's in there for strike one. Peterson from LSU, a couple of Tigers on this team, coming off a national title. And he lines this one out towards the right center gap. That ball drops and gets to the wall. Chasing after it, Manor. Tibbs rounding third. He heads for the plate. The throw is not in time. And Tibbs scores. The throw is a little high there. Looked like it might have had a chance, but the relay a little bit too far up for Ryan Stafford to apply the tag, and it's an RBI double for Josh Pearson. Picks up his 10th batted in of the season. And Brewster strikes first in the top of inning number one. It's 1-0 Whitecaps.
That ball was crushed, and it split the gap perfectly. It was a really tough play for Braden Montgomery to make, and the relay had to be perfect to catch the runner, and unfortunately it was just a couple inches off. Stafford shook his head a little bit. It's just one of those plays where you take it. There was no error on it. Everyone doing their best, but it's a really tough play to make, and it was a close one, just didn't go their way.
So Pearson gets his 10th hit of the year and his 10th RBI on that double. Brewster with a chance to tack on another here as the 1-0 is sent foul by Diaz. Davis Diaz from Vanderbilt. .253 hitter on Cape, and he takes ball two outside. Referred to as a low-maintenance player by Vanderbilt head coach Tim Corbin. Great defensive infielder. He's at third base today. He's also played a little bit of short. The 2-1 is launched sky high, third base side. Xander Darby is called off by the shortstop, Theo Hardy. He makes the catch, and that retires the side. Brewster strikes first in this one off the RBI double by Josh Pearson, and it's 1-0 Caps headed to the home half of the first. The YD offense has been clicking over these last couple of games. They'll look to continue that momentum with a new face due up hitting third when we come back. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast.
Fielder out of Vanderbilt, number 9, R.J. Austin.
R.J. Austin back in the leadoff spot for the second straight day for YD in the bottom of the first inning. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei alongside. Brewster leading YD by a 1-0 score. Austin was subbed out late in the game yesterday, but had a really strong day at the plate as he was 3 for 4. Takes the first pitch down and away from Darian Smith, who makes his first start of the season for Brewster. This is his Cape League debut, the senior righty out of Jacksonville, Florida. Austin twirls that one foul. Smith out of Southeastern University, an NAIA program. He has bounced all over the place. He has attended 4 different schools over the course of his college career, which began in 2019 for the Jacksonville Dolphins. Austin takes a strike. He then played JUCO at Eastern Florida State College, then went to Florida Gulf Coast, led the team in appearances in 2022 before transferring to the NAIA level to play at Southeastern, where he spent this spring. RJ Austin digging back in. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Vanderbilt Commodore, coming off injury, making his 2nd straight start, 3rd appearance overall since returning to the lineup. Swings at the 2-2, lifted into foul ground on the right side, and there will be no play on it as it gets over the dugout for Brewster. Talking to Austin earlier today, said that he felt good yesterday, that he's still making his way back to things, but said he didn't feel any difference with that ankle that he injured at the plate at all. And he takes down to fill the count. After the 3 for 4 performance yesterday, Austin got his average all the way up to 340 on the year. He will be playing in the Cape League All-Star game on Saturday. Fights off the payoff pitch. Austin was pinch hit for yesterday in the 8th inning by Enzo Apodaca, but got 4 at-bats prior to that. 3-2 rolled on the ground over to short. Long run crossing up on the left side of the infield. The throw on to first is in time from Sebring for the first out of the inning.
The shortstop out of San Jose State, number 11, Theo Perri.
That play was a lot closer than initially looked like it was going to be. The ball slowed up a little in the infield, and Austin was just half a step away from being safe, but a nice throw from Jonas Sebring had enough speed to get him at the last second.
Left side of the infield was crossing over each other for Brewster. Hardy fouls off the first offering. He had a very strong debut. Since then has cooled off a little bit. He's won for his first 9 with one run batted in. It's been a reliable 2-hole for Scott Pickler. That's been where he's been in the lineup this whole time as he takes a ball high. Love the old school look from Hardy without the batting gloves and the plain black bat. Breaking ball sweeps upstairs, 2-1. At the point in the season where we're seeing a lot of roster turnover. 2-1 check swing, a chopper up the middle, fielded against the ground by Smith, and he'll make the play over to first. 2 gone in the inning, and now a debut for YD, and perhaps one of the most exciting players in college baseball making his way up to the plate. He's in the transfer portal out of Stanford. It's the 2-way Braden Montgomery, who will get his first at-bat of the season. Added to the roster a few days ago. And Montgomery cracks the first pitch on the right side. Long run, but White has it and throws to first in time to end the inning. YD goes down in order in the bottom of the first, and it's 1-0 Whitecaps headed to inning number 2. Stay tuned. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast.
The center fielder out of South Alabama, number 23.
Top of the second inning from Brewster, as they will be at the plate for the second time. YD playing in front of a smaller crowd here on a Tuesday at Red Wilson Field. 1-0, the lead for the Whitecaps. Gavin Bruni takes a breath, and the first pitch is in there for strike one. Will Turner at the plate for the Caps. And he hits this one in the air out towards center. Montgomery coming in, now backpedaling. That'll drop in front of him for a base hit. And so Turner starts things off with a knock for Brewster in the second inning. That's their second hit of the game, and that'll bring in Ike Irish out of Auburn, the catcher from Hudsonville, Michigan. Hitting .283. That average has been on the climb. First pitch drops down low. Also think Irish has one of the best names in the league. Bruni deals, and Irish check swings around for a strike, 1-1. He's a first-team freshman All-American as a designated hitter. Irish hit .361 at Auburn. He's driven in 7 here on Cape, and he loops this one left side, a base hit. So Brewster starts off the second inning with back-to-back knocks from Will Turner and Ike Irish. Turner stops at second, and that'll bring in Jaime Ferrer. A chance to do some more damage and add some insurance here with the 8-hitter up and runners on first and second with nobody out.
Ferrer hasn't had the easiest time against YD pitching overall throughout the season. He's 1 for 9 with 2 walks. He has scored 2 runs, however. Right now has 2 runners aboard and nobody out. Good opportunity to extend the lead for the Whitecaps.
First pitch breaks in for strike one from Bruni. So far 15 strikes, 10 balls from Gavin. One of 2 lefties on this roster from Ohio State. Along with Landon Beidelshees, who is now going to fill the role of YD's closer for the most part. This one lined right side, a base hit over the head of Brady Day. This one gets all the way to the wall. Quickly scooped up out there by Casey Cook as 1 run is in. Stop sign put up at third for Ike Irish. But Jaime Ferrer with an RBI double to bring in Will Turner, and the Whitecaps double their lead 2-0.
The Whitecaps are finding every single gap on this field right now. The last one was to left center, that one to right center. Perfectly splitting these outfielders. YD has done a lot of running defensively through this first inning and change.
So Ryan Stafford will try to calm his pitcher down. They're on second and third, still nobody out in the inning. YD does not have anyone up and working in the bullpen. Bruni's first pitch to Mason White is down below the zone for ball 1.
White's another collegiate baseball freshman All-American. This one out of Arizona. He's a Tucson native, so stayed at home to represent the state college.
Rolls the 1-0 foul. Ball and a strike. Under 200 hitting this season, 12 for 61 for a 196 average. 2 of his 12 hits are home runs. He's brought in 5 for the Whitecaps. Bruni deals the 1-1 and it is flown foul. Ball and 2 strikes to Mason White. Bruni got 1 strikeout in the first inning. Got a pair of strikeouts in his first 2 1/3 innings of work. A week ago against Harwich. Time is called, and looks like a pitch clock violation on Gavin Bruni, and that'll even the count at 2-2. Saw that yesterday. Interesting that this deep into the season we've seen more pitch clock violations as the 2-2 is fouled off.
These guys also saw it all season. This was a rule in the NCAA starting in the 2023 season, so it's a little surprising to see them on back-to-back days just because we've seen so few overall throughout the season.
Two-two lined right side. Brady Day has to play it on a hop. His only play is to first, and it's in time. Runners will move up. Irish scores, and Ferrer to third. 3-0 Whitecaps on the RBI ground out from Mason White, who might have broken his bat there. That'll turn the lineup over. Runner on third with one out for Jonas Sebring. Only thing I could think of with the pitch clock is that perhaps guys from some of these bigger programs have played in situations where you have a visible pitch clock, which is not how it works here on Cape Cod, at least for the moment, as there's no pitch clock display here at Red Wilson Field. Whitey infield comes in, and the first pitch is low for ball one. And so maybe just not having that visual element to be able to see exactly how much time you have left might contribute to it, but that rhythm probably still there, playing with the pitch clock all season. Big cut and a miss from Sebring.
Especially with the college rules. In the MLB, it's not the same, but in college, you get unlimited pickoff attempts that resets the clock. So especially when you have runners on base, it's interesting to see pitch clock violations there, because if you're feeling rushed, you could just easily reset it on a toss.
1-1 sails high, 2-1. It has just felt that generally the pitch clock rules are less strict at the collegiate level than they are in the majors, but obviously they still happen. 2-1, an ugly swing on a pitch way outside, and Sebring has the count even 2-2. 3 runs off 4 hits so far for the Whitecaps. Jaime Ferrer standing on third base. James Tibbs, who walked and scored the only run of the first inning, is on deck. 2-2 to Sebring, drops low for ball 3. Sebring batting 100, one for his first 10. Senior out of UC Santa Barbara, Valley Center, California. It's not played yet against YD. The payoff, he swings and misses for strike 3. Bit of a half-hearted swing there from Sebring, and he goes down on the K. The second strikeout for Gavin Bruni. 2 gone in the inning for James Tibbs.
Tibbs has already reached base today on a walk from Bruni.
Takes a slider for a strike. Tuesdays tend to be the least attended days of the week for Whitey Red Sox home games. It's the 0-1 hit on the ground over towards second, plate on a hop by Hardy. The throw is low to first, but it's handled, and Gleed retires the side. Brewster tacks on another pair. They are out to a comfortable 3-0 lead. Whitey looks to respond after going in order in the first. Behind Stafford and Day, due up when we come back. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
Red Sox, the designated hitter out of Mississippi State.
Last of the second here from Red Wilson Field. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei. Red Sox looking to dig themselves out of an early hole. It's 3-0 Whitecaps. Hunter Hines leading off. He was 1 for 5 yesterday. A hat trick of strikeouts with a single down the middle. Hines goes first pitch swinging, cuts over the top for strike one. Darian Smith did not record a strikeout, but got 3 pretty weak ground outs in the first inning that got him out of it 1-2-3. Hines foul tips the 0-1 offering. Smith has a very interesting delivery. He has a hitch in his windup where he pauses when the ball is almost all the way over his head. The 0-2 drops low to Hines. Mentioned him being a journeyman, one of a couple that Brewster has picked up since these two teams were scheduled to meet last week. He, along with Clark Candiotti, who's on his 5th school in 5 years. 1-2 is pumped high. That's in there, strike 3. Hines took the breaking ball that cut atop the zone, and that's the first strikeout for Darian Smith in his Cape League debut. Ryan Stafford will stride up to the plate with the bases empty and 1 away. Pitch misses upstairs. It's got some nasty movement on that sweeping breaking ball. Slider that is the best pitch for Smith. It's his strikeout pitch. Threw it again there, missed 2-0. You saw in that first pitch it had Stafford leaning away from it, thinking it was going to come up near the head, and almost swiped its way into the upper corner of the zone. Some control issues, though, here in this at-bat for Darian Smith as he's behind on Stafford 3-0. This spring, he walked 37 hitters in 85 2/3 innings, but fanned 127 of them. This time he misses high for ball 4, and the Red Sox have their first base runners. Ryan Stafford doesn't need to take the bat off his shoulder, draws the 4-pitch walk.
The second baseman out of Kansas State, number 10, Brady Day.
In their last couple of wins, YD has started slow and then picked up really in those middle innings. Yesterday, they finished with 3 zeros on the board, but thanks to a 4-run third inning, that put them over the top of Harwich.
Called strike on the outer corner to Brady Day with a runner on first and 1 out. Also free passes, a big deal for the YD Bats. They drew 8 walks yesterday. Day before that against Falmouth, they drew 6 in addition to 3 hit by pitches. So 8 or more free passes for YD over the past couple of games has led to back-to-back wins on the tail end of a 3-game losing streak, the longest of the season for the Red Sox, who continue to lead the East Division, although the team at their heels, as we mentioned in the first, is new, with it now being Orleans instead of Harwich. Day breaks his bat, sliding over to third. This could be a 2-ball. The throw on to first is not in time. Day reaches on the fielder's choice, and the side continues.
The third baseman out of UC Santa Barbara, number 12.
YD remains hitless through an inning and 2/3. Xander Darby looking to change that. Darby got the day off yesterday. Remember, this team is part of an increasingly crowded infield. A lot of infielders on this roster for YD. One fouled off on the end of the bat. Red Sox came in today technically with only 2 outfielders on the roster after the release of Jacob Jenkins-Coward, but Braden Montgomery can play out there. He's technically a pitcher, but also 2 ways in the outfield. R.J. Austin has seen time out there, as has Max Vieira. Ball and a strike to Xander Darby, hitting .250 on the year. He rolls this one over, first base side, picked on the one hop by Tibbetts. He flips to his covering pitcher, and Smith taps on the bag to end the inning. Whitey gets a couple of base runners, but they remain scoreless through a pair. It's 3-0 Whitecaps as we head to the third. You're watching Whitey Baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Three 0 Caps, top of the third from Red Wilson Field. 3-4-5 in the order coming up for Brewster. Brock Tibbetts struck out swinging in his first at-bat. Brewster has hit around Gavin Bruni pretty well through the first couple of innings. 4 hits for the Whitecaps, in addition to 1 walk. First pitch dips in there for strike 1. Some Big Ten on Big Ten action here. As Tibbetts checks his swing, the appeal to first. And Tony Bernetti says he didn't go around. It'll even the count at 1-1. Tibbetts out of Indiana, Gavin Bruni out of Ohio State. A couple of guys from the state of Ohio. Tibbetts from suburban Columbus. 1-1 skied up high for ball 2.
The difference today has been the extra base hits, not just hits. We don't see as many in this park because it's small, but when you split the gaps like Brewster's done, brings those runs across a lot faster.
They've hit 2 doubles, which is somewhat of a rarity here at Red Wilson Field. 3-1 pitch is a breaking ball down the chute for strike 2. It's most rare to see the triple here at Red Wilson Field, and we've talked about it many times throughout the season. Here comes the payoff, and he swings and misses for strike 3. It'll require a throw to first, but Stafford makes the play, and that's the first out of the inning as Tibbetts goes down on strikes. 3rd K for Gavin Bruni. But going back to the point about extra bases, so often when you see ballparks that are smaller, as this one is, and the fence maybe isn't as far as you're used to, you tend to think that that only affects the home run game, and it affects many other things in addition to that. We often reference on the broadcast how deep outfields tend to play here because the field's so small, as Pearson takes the first pitch in near the elbow for ball 1. The outfield plays near the fence just because of how little ground they have to cover. The 1-0 pitch is outside for ball 2. The infield's the same size no matter where you go, but with the fence being pushed in, not only does that mean that you don't have to hit it as far to hit a home run, there's less green space out there in the outfield, and so that means a lot more flyouts And, of course, a lot fewer extra base hits, as you tend to see the singles and the home runs. Very, very rare to see a triple here. And Bruni loses Pearson on 4 pitches.
Speaking of extra bases, Pearson had been 1 of 2 to hit a double today out of LSU. Just finished up his sophomore year, played a lot of games down in Baton Rouge, hit a 2-run homer in LSU's 18-4 victory in the championship over Florida. So we've already seen a little bit of his power today, but he has a lot going on there in his bat.
Pearson had hit 2 home runs already in his brief time on Cape Cod this season. This one is lined out into left field. R.J. Austin going back, and that splits the gap all the way to the wall. Austin throws it in. Stop sign comes up at third for Pearson, so no runs will score, but it is another double for this Whitecap batting lineup, this time coming off the bat of Davis Diaz.
The center fielder out of South Alabama, number 23, Will Turner.
So now Will Turner, who led off the last inning with a base hit, could bring in a pair if he could repeat that performance. Turner out of South Alabama. Waiting on the first pitch. Gavin Bruni just trying to keep things close. Whitey's offense is still hitless. Spikes a fastball.
And still no action in the YD bullpen. Coach Pickler is trying to leave Bruni in as long as possible. We've already talked about the impact that not having off days has on the bullpen, so you really can't pull your starter early.
Ball 2. Bruni has thrown 54 pitches. He's recorded 1 out here in the 3rd inning. He was a starter the entirety of the year at Ohio State, started all 14 of his appearances. 2-0 is in there for a strike. He threw as many as 105 pitches. That 105 pitch game was actually in his final appearance of the season on May 20th against the Michigan Wolverines. So he certainly has the stamina. A check swing, and the appeal to 30 went around. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Will Turner. He's a guy that has thrown 100 pitches or more a couple of times, routinely in the 90-pitch area for the season. Don't typically see the pitch numbers get that high in summer ball. As the 2-2 slides away. But Bruni's a guy who can go deep in games. And YD looking like they're going to want him to do that here. The defense is shifted with Brady Day stepped back into the shallow outfield. Theo Hardy about a step into the grass at short. Payoff. Rolled over towards second base with the shift. The run will score as the throw comes to first in time for the second out of the inning. Diaz to third. Pearson scores, and Brewster adds on to their lead. 4-0 Whitecaps. 2 gone now in the third for Ike Irish. The upside of the shift there is you get the out. That probably is a base hit, but the downside is instead of bringing the infield in like you normally would, you had no chance to save the run there. Irish is 1 for 1. Takes a pitch up high. Bruni still out of the stretch. No balls, 2 strikes to Ike Irish. Trying to bring home a 2-out RBI. Brewster already in control of the game. He swings and misses at the 0-2 offering. There's a back pick to third. That's a strike. Beg your pardon, it was a 1-1 count, and so that'll make the count 1-2. Scoreboard read 0-2. I was fooled. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count now to Irish. And now the pitch. Sends it foul to stay alive. YD bringing up the 8-9-1 hitters in the bottom of the inning. Bottom of the lineup has been tremendously productive over this 2-game win streak.
Both these teams coming in on 2-game win streaks.
Check swing and a called strike 3. And Irish goes down. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Gavin Bruni, but Brewster continues to put up runs. They get one more in the third, and they lead it by a 4-0 tally. YD looks for an answer that they haven't had in this game yet in the bottom of the third when we come back. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League broadcast.
Leading off for the Red Sox, the right fielder out of UNC Chapel.
4-0 our score in the last of the third from Red Wilson Field. Perri Kitei alongside Luke West Poley with you on this Tuesday evening. Gacy Cook leads off for YD. Cook was 2 for 3 yesterday with a sacrifice fly and a pair of base hits. Takes the ball in the dirt. Prior to that, Cook was 1 for 2 the day before with a single and a walk. He has been on an upward trajectory. He's made some adjustments to swing mechanics as he takes ball 2 outside. His swing looks a little more standard, I guess you could say, after he had a bit of a funky load that we talked about on the broadcast earlier this season. Rolls over the 2-0 pitch on the ground to first. Tibbetts will flip over to Smith, and he beats out Casey Cook to the bag for the first out of the inning.
The first baseman out of UC Irvine, number 4, Doug Lee.
That's been YD's batting essentially the first time through the order. Rollovers and soft contact. 6 of the first 8 guys through the order have grounded out, as YD remains hitless. Dub lead in a rare spot in the 9-hole today. And he launches the first pitch down the left field line, going back, and it is down in fair territory against the wall. Gleed jogging around first, and he will be into second safely. An allowed first hit for YD in the third as Dub Gleed picks up an extra base double.
Responding to Brewster with a double of... Solid contact, liked what he saw in the first pitch and went after it.
Now RJ Austin tries to bring in a run. YD looking to claw their way back into this game. Brewster has scored at least 1 in every inning. Pitch slides off the plate. Austin grounded out to short his first time up. And he hits this one up the middle. It is caught by Sebring on the bounce. The throw to first is in time. Shot that ball up the middle, had a chance to maybe eke through, but Sebring had the ground covered. Theo Hardy will now be relied on for the 2-out RBI as Dub Gleed moves up to third.
Austin's put a lot of them up the middle, and teams have started to notice. They've started pinching that middle infield in towards the bag at second. It looks like Darian Smith is having a little trouble with his hand.
Not good, favoring the fingertips a little bit. So they'll bring the trainer out. Smith, this is his first appearance in the Cape League, but he has pitched this summer. They poached him over from Charlottesville in the Valley League, where he started a few games, so he has been throwing, just not on Cape Cod. But this is just something that you don't like to see this early. Your starter's been dealing, and he doesn't look to be in a tremendous amount of pain, just kind of favoring those fingertips, and you tend to be very cautious with these type of things. But with a look, maybe he's going to give it a test and throw a couple of pitches, because it looks like he's going to stay in the game. Brewster doesn't have anybody up in the bullpen. There was no reason to. His pitch count was low for Smith, and he's been dealing up pretty good. He flashes the thumbs up to his catcher, Ike Irish, so it seems like things are all good to go, which is a good sign. Theo Hardy looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 1 with a ground out up the middle to Darian Smith on the mound, his last time at the plate. Montgomery patiently waiting in the on-deck circle. Couple of bases open. Hardy takes the first pitch. It trickles away, but Ike Irish scampering to it quickly, and that will hold Dub Gleed on third. Hardy was a base hit machine for San Jose State this year. Squares to bunt on the 1-0. That ball did not come off his bat. It cleanly got away. And they will, it looks like, say, what's the call here? Gleed is all the way back in the dugout. Home plate umpire Ryan Demar. Looks like he said that one went off of somebody's knee. I don't know if he meant Theo Hardy or the catcher Ike Irish. Hardy squared to bunt. There's 2 outs, so he can't sacrifice, and now they will meet the umpires, as Jamie Shevchek was none too happy with that call. Given the trajectory, I wouldn't be surprised if it did either.
Well, Hardy seems to think it didn't hit him because he was waving Gleed home immediately. We could hear that it sounded off of something, and it either could have been the foot, the bat, or the knee pads of Ike Irish.
It's really tough to see on replay, but it looks like it did miss the bat of Theo Hardy, and the call's going to stand. So that's a run. It's going to be probably a passed ball on Ike Irish, as it looked like that ball just ticked off the end of his glove and he couldn't make the snow cone catch. And that will bring in Gleed to score YD's first run of the game. So 2-0 the count to Hardy with the bases freshly cleared. And now 4-1 is the score. And Hardy grounds this one over to second. Should be a simple play for White, who's up with it. And that ends the inning. But YD brings home a 2-out run as Dub Gleed scores on the pass ball following his hard-hit double up the line. And the Red Sox show some offensive life in the third. Heading to the middle innings, it's 4-1 Brewster. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast.
Top of the fourth, Brewster leads the Red Sox 4-1. We're at home at Red Wilson Field, and Jaime Ferrer is leading off for the Whitecaps. Gavin Bruni is back on the mound for the fourth. We thought we'd see him go at least 4 before Pickler goes to the pen. Ferrer swings away at the first pitch for strike 1.
Looks like a pitcher is just getting started to kind of stretch out there in the bullpen, but there's still no throwing for YD.
Second pitch on the way falls just on the inside corner of the zone, and Bruni is ahead to an 0-2 count against the Florida State righty. The 0-2 just bumped foul to stay alive in the at-bat. Bruni coming out firing into the zone here in the fourth. Time is called. I think Jaime Ferrer got something in his eye, maybe a bug. Happens to the best of us. There's a lot of little gnats flying around everywhere. But he is back, a warrior. Another 0-2 on the way, falls way outside. And the count goes to 1-2.
I'd like to think that Red Wilson Field is one of the least buggy fields in the Cape League, but the bugs are kind of everywhere.
You just can't escape.
Wareham is the worst.
The 1-2 on the ground stays fair. Up the third base line, gets all the way to the fence in left field. Ferrer rounding first into second, standing up. Second double of the day for number 7 on Brewster. Jaime Ferrer is hot.
This is totally off topic, but I think it was Jamie Shevchek who his last time, the Brewster manager at Wareham, stuck 2 of those things you light on fire in his hat that repel mosquitoes.
First pitch to Mason White, chopped up the middle, going to be a close one. Hardy with the bare hand, and it's in time. What a play from the shortstop. That could not have been executed more perfectly. I thought he had no chance at it, but on the third bounce, bare hand already into the throwing motion, got Mason White by half a step. Ferrer does advance to third, but that was a defensive clinic.
Yeah, you can't ask for anything more than that. That was a phenomenal defensive play by Theo Hardy, and that's how you got to play that. His only chance was to bare hand.
Back to the top of the order for round 3 already. The kick and deal from Bruni misses just above the zone for ball 1. Sebring's 0 for 2 with a pop out and a strikeout swinging. College teammate of Xander Darby with identical blue cleats and a blue sliding glove. The 1-0, a check swing, did not go around. 2 balls, no strikes. Sebring quickly resets himself. Fastball on the edge of the zone for strike 1. I'm loving this blue color scheme Sebring has going on because the bat is blue too. It's tan and blue, almost a sky blue. Then we have the royal blue accessories, the navy blue socks, and the teal jersey. As strike 2, an identical fastball on that outside half. Don't forget those baby blue batting gloves. So Sebring is all over the spectrum. Blue is my favorite color, so I think it's pretty stylish. But I think Brewster is my favorite uniforms across the league. Maybe just my favorite color scheme. The 2-2 on the way. Just push foul off the edge of the bat. And the defensive swing keeps the count at 2-2.
I like the uniforms that the Harwich Mariners wore yesterday. They all wear the high socks with the cream that say Mariners across the front. Those are probably my favorite in the league. I do like the Brewster color scheme.
I almost said
though.
that.
Yeah.
I actually almost just said those uniforms. They're clean. Another 2-2 bounces in the dirt. Stafford keeps it in front of him on the bounce, and the count is full. The Kitei pinstripes are another good
I like
one.
the Kitei pins. They have a really unique color scheme, too, going with like the maroon and navy. That isn't something you see in a lot of other places, but it works very well together.
The payoff to Sebring, swung on and missed, strike 3. He goes down on strikes for the second time today, and that's 2 gone in the top of the 4th.
It's a big strikeout for Gavin Bruni. Strikeout pace has been just fine through these first 4 innings, but now you can bring the infield back and hopes that you can finally just work a clean scoreless inning, let your team at least claw a run or 2 back into this game.
Fresh count for James Tibbs. He goes after the first one, pops it foul. There will be no play. That's strike 1. If we're talking about YD uniforms, I think my favorite one are not the home whites we're wearing today, but the home whites that have the, I don't even know what to call it, just some navy, some red on it. The 0-1 hammered out towards center field on a line that'll score for Rear easily. RBI single for James Tibbs. His first hit of the day. He's also reached on a walk, so he's aboard for the second time.
Number 45, Brock Tibbetts.
And of course the Red Sox have the Boston Red Sox type uniforms which they're wearing today. They do say YD on the sleeves. Hyannis has a nice color scheme too with the orange and blue. They used to be the Hyannis Mets, but they're now the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. They kept the same colors though.
First pitch ball dealt to Brock Tibbetts. I always love when Tibbetts and Tibbs are next to each other in the lineup. There's something really satisfying about how their names are spelled almost identically. The 1-0 pick off towards first base. Bruni takes his time to reset, as does Tibbetts, now stepping back into the box.
There's Tibbetts and Tibbs who bat next to each other in the lineup. Kitei has Matheson and Mathis who also bat next to each other in the lineup.
The 1-0 pickoff move towards first. Runner is safe. That was a back pick from Stafford. As ball 2 sailed in high, Tibbs took a little bit too much of a lead, and Stafford was trying to get him, but the throw was too far pulled towards the baseline. Ball 3 sails high, and Tibbetts has the hitter's count.
Ryan Delgado, set to make his first appearance out of the bullpen, is up and warming on the left side for YD.
Ball 4 upstairs, 4-pitch walk for Brock Tibbetts. Brewster has put up at least 1 in each inning so far. We're in the top of the 4th, still 2 outs. 1 run has come across. There were 2 in the second. YD put back 1 in the 3rd, but the hole grows with every Brewster batter coming to the plate, and it's Josh Pearson who's reached twice today. He has a double and a walk. Now 2 runners aboard. This will likely be the last out of Bruni's outing if he can get past Pearson. And the first pitch flown out towards center. Montgomery takes a couple of steps and is right there. Hard contact straight to the defense. YD finally gets through 3, and we head to the bottom of the 4th on the Cape League broadcast now.
Montgomery.
Braden Montgomery leads off the bottom of the fourth as YD tries to bite back into the Brewster lead. They've responded with a run to match YD's run in the bottom of the third. So the gap is still 4 between these two teams as Montgomery holds off on a first pitch ball in the dirt. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base. 1-0, a big swing and a miss for strike one. Montgomery out of Stanford. We've already talked about how he's a two-way player, was a first-team All-Pac-12 selection, an ABCA regional selection as well. Just a bottom piece of the 1-1 tipped into Irish's glove. That's strike two. Montgomery is also the former Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. YD has been waiting for him all season. His picture's been in the yearbook. He's finally here. The 1-2 is pushed foul, and we will do it again.
Stephen Schock, who's a leading expert on college baseball, for those that know, was tweeting about Braden Montgomery before the game that he's in the transfer portal, can go anywhere he wants because he got a 34 in ZCT.
I guess that's how you end up at Stanford.
Yeah, I was going to say, to be expected for a guy at Stanford, I guess. But transferring out, I'd imagine he's going to end up somewhere else with strong academics as well.
Northwestern, perhaps?
We'll see.
The 2-2 coming from Smith. Falls outside the zone. A good hold from Montgomery. Has the count full. I'd like to clarify that was, in fact, a joke. The payoff outside, ball 4, a nice bat flip brings up Hunter Hines. It's been a while since we've seen a Hines homer. 9 of them, still leads the league, really nobody close, but feels like one is coming. He has had at least one hit in the last couple of games, so he hasn't been quiet. A couple RBIs to go along with that. The first pitch is flown foul.
It's been 8 games without a Hunter Hines homer. How are we going to manage? That's going to end over the next couple of days.
Oh, absolutely. And then we can
That's
all
my bold
watch
prediction.
him compete in the home run competition All-Star Weekend. The 0-1, a check swing called strike 2. He's gone down on strikes once today. Was caught looking by Darian Smith on the slider that just dropped in the zone. Huge movement across the plate. The 0-2 just tipped foul. Irish can't squeeze it, so Hines gets another chance. Hines out of Mississippi State, the first team All-SEC selection. Did so as a designated hitter. He's also played first base here at YD, but as you said, Luke, an abundance of infielders. So Hines has largely been in this DH spot. We've seen Dub Gleed really take over at first base, and he's done a nice job of it.
Yeah, Gleed had a couple of errors his first game at first base, and since then he has been just wonderful over there for YD, and makes sense that he's become the everyday guy in the 3 spot defensively.
Smith fires above the letters, ball 1. Every time Hines steps into the box, there's an air of anticipation over the crowd. That's how you know he's special. Everyone expects really big things from him, and most of the time he's delivering. Pick off towards first, laser beam, but Montgomery back there safely sliding in.
Was watching some old footage of Hines homers from earlier this year, and it's different than anybody else in this league. The way the ball just explodes off of his bat when he gets a good pitch is unlike really anybody else.
The 1-2 gets away, and Braden Montgomery will jog over to second. That's ball 2. Gleed's run was scored as a wild pitch, not a passed ball. That one looked like a passed ball, went right through the legs of Ike Irish, so I don't think it could be scored any other way.
Got him in the glove, a little generous, but it's all right.
Two balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The shrug and deal on the ground towards second. Hines will run it out. Soft contact. White scoops and makes the play. Montgomery advances to third. Smith forcing soft contact every day. YD's been on top of the ball. So much has stayed on the ground.
Yeah, really, that double from Dub Gleed. I mean, it's actually it's the only one that's been hit in the air at all. Everything else has been a ground out. Every other ball in play for YD, and so it's tough. He's got a good slider, and YD has just been topping everything, like you said, so far that they've gotten bat on.
Stafford goes after the first pitch, and it's pushed foul for strike 1. He has reached once today on a walk. Montgomery looking to score his first run as a YD Red Sox. The 0-1 just clips the outside of the zone. Top corner, strike 2. Stafford will take a long look at his bat, ready to swing away. Brady Day on deck. He's been quiet as of late. The 0-2 pushed up the middle. That will drop in shallow right center for a base hit. Montgomery scores. YD takes one back. It's 5-2.
Good piece of hitting from Stafford, and it's a guy that I think is going to come out of this Team USA camp with a newfound confidence. He's been platooning a little bit with Manny Garza for that catching slot. He gets the start today and has not made a mistake at the plate. He's on base now for the second time with the walk and the base hit.
The 0-2 runner goes. Day off the tip of his bat, stays fair up the third baseline. Stafford rounds second, gets to third safely. Day on second, stand-up double. The defensive swing, that was purely for the sake of the hit and run, but Day just golfs it into left field. Sometimes things are just going your way. YD runners on second and third, only one gone.
We've talked about before that bounces like that tend to go your way when you're hot, and for Brady Day, like you said, there was no intention there to get really strong contact. They were just looking for the hit and run. Kind of figured that was the case when you see a catcher off with the first pitch and puts 2 in scoring position. This is a golden opportunity for the Red Sox, who've been pretty quiet to this point, to get back into this game.
2 hits in the inning now. First pitch on the way to Darby. He holds off, it runs inside, and Irish scrambling to get behind it.
You remember back to the last home game, that was the last time Darby was in the lineup. He hit a ball as well as we've seen hit here at Red Wilson Field this season, a home run to straightaway center that ended up most of the way up the trees beyond the fence.
Ball 2 drops low below the knees. Darby in a hitter's count. The force not in play for the inning-ending double play. One bag open on the potential walk from Smith would bring up Casey Cook. And Smith just clips the bottom of the zone for a called strike 1. It was a close call. Nice frame from Irish.
If I'm Smith here, I do not want Casey Cook coming up with the bases loaded. He's been very hot. I am not pitching around Darby.
The 2-1, swung on and missed on the outside half of the plate. Count evens up 2-2. In all likelihood, we will see Casey Cook with just one gone. Bottom of the fourth. Smith delivers. The slider just sweeps across the zone, but can't find the edge. It's on that outer corner of the plate. We could see it curving through the air, but that's ball 3. The count runs full. The payoff gets away. Ball 4. Stafford thought about taking home. Irish got to it quickly. Bases loaded, one gone for Casey Cook. Cook is actually the go-ahead run right now. YD trails by 3. Anything to the outfield could make this game real interesting.
Cook has shown flashes of power over this last week or so. See if it can come to fruition in a clutch moment for YD.
Fresh count. Cook is set. First pitch on the way. Goes across the plate into the zone. Strike 1.
That slider is filthy, and that was a ball on the outside half. Ended up painting the inner corner.
Cook locked and loaded. The 0-1. Above the shoulders, Stafford was ready to go if Irish couldn't get to it. It's 1-1. This brings me back to the first time we saw Casey Cook at the plate all season. That was way back at Falmouth in June. YD crushed the Commodores that night, but Casey Cook came up with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Came up with a bases clearing double. It's ball 2. Flies on the outside. It was an at-bat that, if I remember, lasted at least 7 or 8 pitches.
It was long.
He was just fouling them away, fighting and fighting. That was the first time we saw something special out of the right fielder from North Carolina. The 2-1 on the ground. It sneaks through the gap into right field. Stafford scores. Day rounding. And the overthrow is way away. And Casey Cook slides into second safely with a 2 RBI single.
The first baseman out of UC Irvine, number 4, Doug Lee.
Nice work from Casey Cook. Hard grounder. Sneaks through that 3-4 hole into right field, and the throw from Ferrer had too much gas on it, sailed way over Irish's head. Smith was there to back him up. There's a meeting on the mound now as Jamie Shevchak has come out to check on Smith. There is a righty warming in the bullpen.
It's up to 64 pitches now. How about Casey Cook, man? He's hitting the ball hard. And he is starting to have things go his way that we didn't see in the early part of the year. The average sits at 171, but Cook has been developing over these last couple of weeks, which is really what everybody's here to do. And good to see him finally getting rewarded for some of that work. And YD is in business here. Doug Glee could give him the lead with a base knock.
Lead already has 1 hit today. It's a double. It was the first hit. YD has 3 hits this inning. And the score is 5-4 as the slider drops low for ball 1. YD has bounced back in an exciting fashion. 3 runs plated in the 4th so far. Still just 1 out, not done yet. Inning-ending double play not in play right now. Controversial called strike one as the slider sweeps across the plate once again.
That's the pitch you want to throw in this situation. You're going to hammer that slider away because ideally you get Lee to swing at it and poke it over to first. You can save the run and get the out.
The 1-1 on the ground up the middle. Throw on the way to first is in time, but it's an RBI ground out for Dub Gleed, and this game is tied.
The left fielder out of Vanderbilt, number 9, R.J. Austin.
Top of the order, R.J. Austin back to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Had a couple of hits yesterday, as it looks like Darian Smith's day might be done. The call to the bullpen is made. So with a tie ball game, 2 gone, Luke, I did not know if we'd see this. We've been waiting on this offensive explosion. It's just how things have been going for YD lately. Things have caught up. In the 4th, YD plates 4, and we'll head to a quick break before we return for the last out of the inning on the Cape League broadcast. It's Patrick Forbes in relief. YD has seen him before. Out of Louisville, coming in for the last out of the inning. Facing RJ Austin with Casey Cook on 3rd. And the first pitch curve sails high for ball 1. YD has been excellent this inning, putting together a number of base hits, advancing each other. And ball 2 just misses above the zone. Definitely a hittable pitch, but a nice take from Austin moves him further ahead in the count. (2-0) slides away. That's ball 3. This has been the longest inning to date. Brewster was tacking them on slowly. 1 run per inning. As ball 4 is at the shoulders, they did put up 2 in the 2nd, but YD has come storming back with 4 and possibly still going in the 4th. Theo Hardy now has his turn to give YD the lead. He's 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts as well, part of that soft contact generated by Smith.
Let's go.
Runners on the corners. 5th ball in a row from Forbes. Drops low in the opposite box. Forbes yet to throw a strike. Runner bluffs. as a low called strike 2 falls in the zone, so the count evens up for Theo Hardy. Ball 2 away. Austin is jumping around over on first, trying to draw a throw and an error, possibly give Casey Cook an opportunity to score. There is the pickoff to first, and Austin is safe diving back in.
Forbes has a good move over to first. Austin's got to be very, very careful.
Hardy shows bunt, pulls away, and it gets behind him again. Identical situation. Casey Cook comes across to score. Second time today that Theo Hardy has showed a bunt, pulled back. It bounces off of Ike Irish. Austin took third because nobody was paying attention. So he's taken 2 bases. YD takes the lead 6-5. What an inning. Theo Hardy has now scored 2. He won't be credited for it, but that was certainly his moves at the plate making it happen. The 3-1 falls outside, and he has a nice toss back to the dugout as he replaces Austin on first base.
Out of Stanford, number 15, Braden Montgomery.
And that's exactly why we've seen it so often from this YD team this season, where the pitcher you're facing isn't throwing strikes, and you obviously have no reason to bunt with 2 outs. So why do you show bunt? And it's just to draw attention. And Hardy's done it twice, and it has worked out for him both times.
Montgomery, excuse me. Yeah, that is Montgomery. I got all caught up. Rolled it on the ground to second, and that is the last out of the inning. But YD plates 5 in the 4th to take the lead 6-5, and we head to the top of the 5th. Whole lot of 5s going on the Cape League broadcast. Brewster trying to strike back, and we have a debut for YD out of the bullpen. It's Ryan Delgado out of Cal Baptist making his first appearance in relief. The righty throws a first pitch strike. That's Davis Diaz leading off the inning for the Whitecaps. The tables have turned dramatically. I was going to say drastically. That would have worked as well. Drastic-matically. Counts 1-1 to Davis Diaz. And a beautiful arcing curveball falls in off the top for strike 2. Delgado fire is hammered out towards center, sprinting back. Montgomery watches it sail over the fence, and just like that, this game is tied. Davis Diaz got every single piece of that ball. And as he comes across the plate, Brewster is back in the game.
You're not going to be let off the hook that easy, even if you have a nice comeback effort. And we've seen a couple of rude awakenings to some YD pitchers making their debuts, as it's another one that's given up a home run pretty early in his first outing, the first batter he's faced.
First pitch to Turner is chopped foul for strike 1. He steps out and shrugs to reset. Red, tan, and blue bat going on as the 0-1 falls across the plate, but runs too far inside. That's ball 1. Turner 1 for 2. Thinks about offering, turns the shoulders, but pulls back on ball 2. The shift is on for YD. Xander Darby, the only guy to the left of second. And it's on the ground to Day in the outfield off one bounce in time to Gleed. That would maybe have snuck through the gap if the shift wasn't on, but once again, the analytics do their job for the first out of the inning.
And you can tell Brady Day has been shifted in that position a lot because he did something that was really smart in waiting back on that ball. If that is all on the same surface, you charge in on that and make the play, but he knew that the grass has a bit of a lip to it, so he waited back. The ball skipped up on him, but he was ready for it because he was playing so far back.
Big swing and a miss from Irish for strike 1. Bounced perfectly into his glove. He knew exactly where that ball was going. And Dylan Leach actually has come in as a pinch hitter. He takes ball 1. There are a lot of catchers on the Whitecaps roster. There's 5 of them. Leach chops it up the middle. Hardy has it and fumbles it. He and Day were coming across each other. Delgado offered at it as well, and he reaches on the error.
The right fielder out of Florida State, number 7, Jaime Ferrer.
That might have actually been ruled a hit. It was, so 9 hits on the day for Brewster. The curve finds the zone for strike 1 against Jaime Ferrer, who is 2 for 2 with 2 doubles. He's been barreling all day. Leach with a small lead on first. Delgado shrugs. And it's popped up foul, but there will be no play.
Just realized that Ryan Stafford, he doesn't wear the 2-piece catching mask. He wears the hockey mask that's only 1 piece, and he's not wearing a helmet under it. He's wearing his fitted cap backwards.
Rolled towards second, could be 2, but Day fumbles it. And that one will definitely be ruled an error. He had it, and it just got stuck in his glove as he was coming up. Looked like he almost tried to reach for it through his legs. It was an awkward position. So 2 aboard for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, that can happen as an infielder. See a lot of infielders that'll actually break in their gloves differently because of plays like that, where you want to get the ball more on the fingers instead of really deep in the web. Sometimes you just get it stuck in there, and it's an unfortunate break for Brady Day.
First pitch, ball sails wide for Mason White. White 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs. It's a 6-6 ball game. Swings away, strike 2. Stafford keeps it in front. The runners, no chance to advance. It's actually a ball and a strike with 1 gone for Mason White. And he lines it into left field. That's a base hit. Austin has it. The throw coming in. The relay to Darby is cut off. Leach scores from second. Ferrer on a second. And it's an RBI single for Mason White out of Arizona.
Yeah, tough one after you could have had that double play as Brewster makes it pay for it. And we are going back and forth in this one.
The Whitecaps now lead 7-6. Top of the order once again, 4th time through already, just in the 5th inning for Brewster with Jonah Sebring. 0 for 3. And ball 1 bounces in the dirt. The 1-0 popped up, but out of play. Deceptively looked like it might be heading towards the shallow infield. Instead, goes over the backstop. Brings the count to 1-1. Stafford jogs out to have a quick chat with Delgado. Gives us a chance to talk about Delgado, who is debuting today out of Cal Baptist. Native of Santa Maria, California, going into his senior year. Had a 3.34 ERA this season in 28 appearances. 59.1 innings pitched. He was the #1 reliever over there at Cal Baptist. Strike 2 paints the bottom of the zone.
He's played some high-level summer ball, too. 2 years in the Alaska League with Anchorage. It's a good league, one of the probably, I'd say, 5 best in the country.
The 1-2 curves, falls inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gets away from Stafford, throw on the way, and the tag is not put on. Ferrer sneaks his hand apparently around the bag. The ball bounced away. Stafford caught it in front, but the runners went for it. Stafford really had a chance on that. I thought it was a close play. I thought Darby might have had him, but of course the umpire over there had a much closer look than we did. Full count for Sebring. Swings and misses, strike 3, drop 3rd strike, tag applied for a very, very important out number 2.
It can bring the infield back out with 2 in scoring position. It can be a little bit nervy to bring the infield in if you get something blooped over your head that could score 2 runs. Now you can go back to the shift against James Tibbs.
Tibbs 1 for 2, has a single, also reached on a walk. Holds off on a first pitch ball. The 1-0 floats away from the batter for ball 2. Ball 3 just misses above the zone. A walk here could load the bases. Brock Tibbetts on deck, future All-Star starter. And it's hit well out towards center field. Montgomery sprinting back, and it's a 3-run blast from James Tibbs. Gets the green light on the 3-0 count for good reason. Delgado just trying to put it over the plate, and he pays for it. Brewster extends their lead. It's 10-6.
Just like that for YD, back to square one. A large comeback erased, and gonna need it again.
YD puts up 5 in the 4th. Brewster says, watch this. And all of a sudden, they lead by 4 once again. Base is empty for Brock Tibbetts. 2 home runs now off Ryan Delgado. Tibbs was anticipating the strike over the plate. He thought Delgado was just going to try to put something in the zone to get himself back in the count. Ball 2 drops all the way to the backstop, rolls up the fence and around, but nobody on base to take advantage. 2 balls, no strikes.
Connor O'Hara, who hasn't pitched in 6 days, is working in the YD bullpen.
This one's ripped out towards the bullpen, gets over the fence, but foul for strike 1, a loud strike 1. Tibbetts wiggling the bat, this time on the ground towards short. The throw just in time, nice stretch from Gleed. That was Theo Hardy handling the play. There were 3 on the left side of second, and that retires the side. But Brewster strikes back for 5 in the 5th, and we head to the bottom half as YD goes for their second big comeback of the day. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Hunter Hines leads off the inning after 2 bombs from Brewster extend their lead back to 4. It's 10-6, and ball 1 comes in hot from Patrick Forbes back out on the mound. Hines 0 for 2, and he watches ball 2 drop below the zone. Ball 3 flies away. Hines is definitely a guy that has the green light on a 3-0 count. We've seen it before. Forbes can't just leave it over the plate here. Hines moved the shoulders as Forbes paints the outside corner for strike one.
Yeah, when you got the green light, you'll swing at something right down the middle, but not that.
Can't help but jump as that one flew right back at us. Fouled off the tip, count runs full. Forbes delivers, check swing. Did not go around on ball four, was at the letters. Hines holds off by a hair, and he walks to reach base for the first time today and bring up Ryan Stafford, who's 1 for 1 and has also reached on a walk.
Despite the 4-run deficit, it feels very possible for Whitey because this is the exact part of the order that put up 5 in the last inning.
Stafford takes a strike at the bottom of the zone to start off his count. Small lead from Hines. Not the most dangerous guy on the base paths for YD. The 0-1 sails high and away for ball one. And it hits him. Second free pass of the inning. Stafford takes it like a champ around the ribcage area. 2 runners on for Brady Day.
The second baseman at Kansas State, number 10, Brady.
Day 1 for 2, but he's reached both times, a fielder's choice and a double. That double was just poked off the edge of his bat, stayed fair up the third base line just over the head of Diaz. Started off the scoring run for YD in the 4th.
Interested to see what Coach Pickler does here, if he's playing for the big inning or if he's trying to string together some stuff for YD. Is he going to maybe bunt and try to put 2 in scoring position, or is he going to try and keep this train moving along and let Day either take a free pass or swing?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Day swing, and then if that doesn't work out for strike one, then put up the bunt. That's also something we've seen, is the bunt put up later in at-bats as Day takes ball one. The slider comes across to the edge of the zone, strike one. Day pushes it off the end of his bat again, but foul this time. Over to the hill of spectators. He's down 1-2. Reset, as always, that back foot on the front corner, the plate side corner. The 1-2 chopped up the middle. This could be 2. 1 comes in at first, but Day is safely at first. That was actually 1 comes in at second. As Stafford is retired, Hines advances to third for the first out. Essentially doing the same thing as a bunt, but getting that runner at second. Day reaches for the second time today on the fielder's choice. He's proven his ability to beat out that potential double play ball twice today. As Darby takes the first pitch, a fastball for strike one. He rips it, and the diving grab from Diaz is out number 2 at second. Day can't beat it out. 1 run comes across, it's 10-7, but wow, what a play from Diaz. His hands on his knees now. As a trainer might come out to take a look, that was absolutely heroic. He made the throw to second on the ground.
Yeah, it was a really nice play, and it kind of kills some of that momentum you feel you would have had if you're YD. If you sneak that through, the run comes in and scores. The run scores anyway, but you've got one of your hotter hitters at the plate in Casey Cook. You'd be looking at first and second with still one out in a 3-run game. But getting that second out is huge, and also getting that lead runner, you feel that you kind of tamed down the momentum for YD a little bit.
Diaz still being looked at by the Brewster trainer. And now she and a coach heading back to the dugout. Smile on his face, looks to be okay. They're deciding to pick up the pace and jog across the field to get back to play as soon as possible. This one is pacing to be a long night, might even be one of those darkness nights, as we're already about an hour and 50 minutes into the game, and we're just in the bottom of the 5th. Cook at the plate, runner on first. And he takes ball 1.
You remember 7:45 is about the mark that the last game got called, so got about an hour 15 left.
Runner goes, a good jump from Darby. The throw bounces into the outfield, really nicely backed up by Mason White, but Darby is safe. That was a gutsy move from Coach Pickler, as Xander Darby has been picked off a couple of times, but the throw does not go Brewster's way, and YD moves the runner into scoring position. Two balls, no strikes to Cook. And he rips it out towards center. Turner going back on it to the wall, and the diving grab is made. Jumping into his glove. That was the second unbelievable defensive play of the inning, and he robs Casey Cook of another RBI. The Brewster defense did not come to mess around today, but YD gets one back. It's 10-7 as we head to the top of the 6th on the Cape League. Top of the 6th after a defensive clinic from Brewster holds YD to just 1 run. That was an unbelievable grab out in center from Turner. And Delgado is back. First pitch lined into right field. That's a base hit to start things off for Josh Pearson. His second hit of the day. This one a single.
Third baseman out of Vanderbilt, number 1, Diaz.
For most of the season, if YD has lost, it's been because the offense didn't show up that day. Today, if this one gets away from the Red Sox, it will be maybe for the first time today a credit, or the first time this season, a credit to the pitching staff, as the offense has certainly done their job. Ball 1 drops low to Diaz.
And see, honestly, now things have changed a little bit, but after YD rallied,
Ball 2 falls inside.
you know, I really think that you can take a positive away from the outing that Gavin Bruni had in that he at least limited the damage somewhat. I know the stat line isn't going to look great, giving up 5 earned, 7 hits over 4 innings.
Delgado paints the corner for strike 1.
But you can clearly see that the offense had the ability to rally and to keep Brewster to just 1 or 2 runs in every inning and not let the wheels truly fall off, I think is somewhat positive for Gavin Bruni. Since then, obviously, the lopsided spot in the last inning.
This one slow towards second, towards short, and Darby misses it out of the glove. Again, the YD infield also has not been helping out the pitching. Darby charged in. It was soft contact, and again just popped out of his glove before he corralled it, really, and Coach Pickler is coming out to the dugout. We might see Delgado's day end early.
Yeah, and only 2 of those runs, by the way, in that last inning were earned out of the 5, so it's been a bit of a tough defensive day on the YD side of things. And the call to the bullpen comes as Connor O'Hara is going to make his way down to the mound.
With nobody gone in the top of the 6th, we'll head to a quick break as O'Hara gets his chance to warm up, and we'll be back on the Cape League broadcast. Will Turner at the plate, first to face Connor O'Hara today. Comes in relief of Delgado. Bit of a rough first outing, but just settling into this Cape League competition. Highest level of competition in the country. Bunt is squared and laid up the middle. O'Hara calls him off and gets the lead runner at third as Darby scoops it out. Nice play from O'Hara for out number 1.
The catcher, out of Missouri.
Nice play out of the bullpen. You are proving he's ready out there. Connor O'Hara having to make an offensive play on the first pitch, and a strong one.
New count for Dylan Leach. as he swings and tips it into Stafford's glove. Leach came in last inning in relief of Ike Irish behind the plate. Irish gave up 2 runs on passed balls. The 0-1 on the way. Flared foul very hard towards a crowd of spectators, strike 2. Leach is 1 for 1. He singled. It was definitely a close play. Hardy charged in on it. It was a grounder straight up the middle. He and Day crossed paths, both going for it. It was stuck a little coming out of the glove. We've seen that 3 times today now from the infield. The 0-2 just falls off the corner. O'Hara fires inside, catches the inside corner, called strike 3.
The right fielder out of Florida State.
2 aboard on first and second, but O'Hara has come in and recorded 2 quick outs. Brings up Jaime Ferrer with 2 doubles, also reached on an error. Trying to do more damage and add to Brewster's lead. YD trails by 3. Ball 1 falls inside. Interestingly enough, that play from Darby over at third was not scored as an error. The scoreboard looks really lopsided. 13 hits for Brewster, 10 runs. YD has 7 runs on just 4 hits. This one, soft contact, maybe broken bat up the middle, and there's no play on it. It just died in the grass. Up that left middle side of the field, Ferrer runs it out for a lucky base hit.
Yeah, that's what happens when you shatter the bat, get jammed up, and you don't love as a hitter when you miss the barrel like that and you get jammed, but sometimes with the soft enough contact, you can find one of those holes in the infield.
Bases loaded for Mason White. And it's lined up the middle for a base hit. Charging in Montgomery. The throw to home is coming. The relay is nowhere close. And Brewster plates 2 on the RBI single from Mason White. Brewster has just been seeing the ball so well today.
Pinch hitting for the Whitecaps at the University of Florida, number 32, Michael Robertson.
Top of the order once again, 5th time through for Jonas Sebring. The score now 12-7. Check swing, it's Michael Robertson coming in to pinch hit as Sebring had enough. 0 for 4 on the day. That ends his outing. Counts 1-0. And ball 2 drops low below the knees. Robertson comes to Brewster out of Florida. He's a Florida Gator. He grew up a Gator fan. It's always been his dream to go there, represent his team. The 2-0 on the ground up the middle. And Hardy falls over trying to pick it up on the backhand. That one looked like it hurt. It would have been a tough play regardless, just based on where it was. But the hits continue to come for Brewster as one comes across on the RBI single from Michael Robertson. Actually, none. No, that was just a single to advance the runners. Now the bases are loaded. Tibbs swings away and misses. First time we've seen that in a while. For strike one.
This inning has probably felt the most deflating for YD, and it's a little bit different than what we've seen the rest of this time from Brewster. A lot of infield hits. They were hammering around YD pitching early, but softer contact in this inning.
Ball one misses just off the plate. The scorebook says there's just one error from YD, but there have been so many close plays that were scored as hits for Brewster, but felt like real momentum changers as that one bounces in and hits our home plate umpire in the leg. He takes a couple steps to reset himself. Stafford taps him on the shoulder in apology. Two balls, one strike to James Tibbs. Bases loaded. As ball three falls outside. Flared foul into the bleachers. I think people over there avoided it. That was a close one, really hard hit ball. Went almost perpendicular to the field. It's a full count. Tibbs swings away, goes down on strikes, and that retires the side, but Brewster strikes for two. They lead 12-7 as we head to the bottom half of the sixth. It's Perri, Kitei, and Luke West Poley on the Cape League broadcast.
off for the Red Sox. First
Bottom
baseman,
of the
Tedeschi,
fourth,
number
YD
4,
down 5.
Bell.
It's 12-7 with Dub Gleed leading off. He's facing a new pitcher on the mound. That's Drew Blake, the lefty out of Oklahoma State, a native of Oklahoma. Gleed swings and misses at the first pitch. In 2023, he was 1-0 with a 5.46 ERA. As strike 2 just touches the bottom of the zone. That was across 28 appearances, 28 innings pitched, so a short relief kind of guy. The 0-2 flies away. Check swing, a little bit of shoulder movement, but not much from Gleed. As ball 2 drops on the inside. There's been a defensive substitution. It's Peyton Green at shortstop as the 2-2 is grounded just foul of the third base line. This game has run more than 2 hours already here in the bottom of the 6th. Daylight running out at Red Wilson. As the 2-2 is popped up into foul territory, there could be a play. Tibbetts sprinting over, can't get there in time, and the count will stay the same. Ball 3 flies high. Gleed has the count full. So Michael Robertson, who's an outfielder, came in, got that RBI single, and then was replaced by Green as Gleed nubs foul. Another pitch, and the count is still full. And Blake is squared to the plate. Now the payoff on a line, backhanded by White at second. And the throw is in time for the first out of the inning.
RJ Austin.
Running out of daylight, got to start the rally here soon, and RJ Austin looking for his first hit.
Won't get it on that pitch as ball 1 drops below his knees. Foul ball pushed back, strike 1. Austin watches the changeup come in for strike 2. Swings away on the ground, backhanded by Green, but he eats it up. No play on it, and Austin has his first hit of the day, the infield single.
The San Jose State, number 11, Theo Hardy.
It was a good decision from Green to just eat that one. The throw to first likely wouldn't have been in time, and the possibility of the overthrow was also there, playing it safe. Hardy grounds it up the third baseline. That's fair, and the throw on the way to first is in time for out number 2. Austin advances to second.
Don't think that Diaz read that one.
Stanford, number 15, Braden Montgomery.
And just what was happening, because over at first, Austin thought he was going to get picked off, and so he jumped back to the base. He was running in the opposite direction on contact, and that meant that could have at least gotten the lead runner there, but instead went to first. See if Braden Montgomery can at least claw a little bit into this lead.
Montgomery 0 for 2 has reached on a walk and takes strike 1, a fastball over the heart of the plate. 5th hit of the day for the Red Sox. And strike 2 is taken. Montgomery behind 0-2. Popped up foul and out of play. A mad dash ensuing for the foul ball. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Braden Montgomery strikes out for the first time in a Red Sox uniform. And it's a quick one in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. Brewster leads 12-7 at Red Wilson Field. You're watching YD Baseball on the Cape League.
The 2023 Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star Game presented by Milton Cat will be held at White House Field home of the Harwich Mariners on Saturday. That's this Saturday, July 22nd at 6 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at CapeCodBaseballStore.com. Top of the 7th inning as Connor O'Hara makes his way back to the bump. Brock Tibbetts, the only man in the order that didn't come to the plate in the last inning, and he takes ball 1 low. Brewster has scored at least 1 run in every single inning all the way up to this point as they lead YD by 5. Red Sox took a brief lead after a 5 spot in the 4th. Put them out in front 7-6 as this one is lifted up behind home plate and out of play. Or 6-5, I should say, was the lead for YD. Tibbetts is 0 for 3. He has walked in this game. Struck out twice and grounded out. O'Hara deals the 1-1 in on the hands. 2 balls and a strike. Tibbetts, the Indiana Hoosier, playing at first base, also a catcher. And he ropes this one. Left side base hit. Past the diving effort made by Xander Darby. It's a leadoff knock for Brewster. They've put the leadoff man on in all but 2 innings of this game. Josh Pearson back to the plate. 2 for 3 with a walk. 2 easier halves, or 2 easier quarters, I should say, making up 1 half of the cycle with the single and the double. First pitch swinging, and he fouls it off.
I think we've only seen 1 triple this season at Red Wilson Field. That was from Carson Bench out of Oklahoma State, plays for Orleans. No longer on the Orleans roster, but I do remember that triple very distinctly because it is really tough to do, but he was full speed ahead, no hesitation.
This park is nearly cycle-proof. We have seen a cycle already in the Cape Cod League this summer, but it was not here.
2 of them, actually.
Ball high, 2-1. One from Falmouth, one from Bourne. 2 balls and a strike to Josh Pearson. Pops it up in the air and foul. YD will be at home today and tomorrow. They will take on Hyannis. Next time they'll see the Harbor Hawks after that game will be a week from tomorrow at Dunkin' Donuts Park in Hartford, Connecticut. Two twirled in the home plate area. It ends up foul. YD after that game tomorrow will hit the road for a couple of days. They'll be at Chatham on Thursday, then at Brewster on Friday as they head into the All-Star break, if you want to call it that. As for YD, it's just one day. Scheduled off day on Sunday. They got a makeup game at Orleans, so that'll be on the road as well. This one ripped into right field. That's a base hit. Coming around it, Cook cuts it off before the wall. The throw-in is not in time at second. Tibbetts advances to third.
The third baseman out of Vanderbilt, number 1.
And looking like Brewster will continue the run train onto the 7th inning. They've got 2 in scoring position with nobody out for Davis Diaz. He, on the other hand, is just a triple away from the cycle. Single, a double, a home run, and a pop out in foul territory to third base. Whitey brings the infield halfway in. (0-1). Diaz over at third base. This is a Brewster team that have been skidding over the past couple of weeks as Chatham is inched closer, those two, the 4 and 5 spots in the East Division. Diaz takes strike 2 over the heart of the plate. But wins at this point in the season very crucial for the Whitecaps, who are fighting to stay in the playoffs. Top 4 in each division make the playoffs. Just one team in each of the East and West is left out. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. Got a piece, but Ryan Stafford squeezes it, and Connor O'Hara one step closer to maybe working a scoreless inning. Second and third with one gone for Will Turner. Talking yesterday off air a little bit, YD is 18 points ahead of Chatham. That's 9 games. And we're getting to the point in the season where there aren't that many games left. And so for YD's first pitch comes in. It's a strike on the outer corner. You could be talking this time next week, depending on how results go, that the Red Sox could clinch a spot in the playoffs. Of course, still more to play for after that, home field advantage and such. And 0-1 outside. Of course, with so many teams making the playoffs, it seems like the real season doesn't even start until August, but certainly an accomplishment to at least know that you're in a little bit early, have that peace of mind. Turner fouls off the 1-1. Ball and 2 strikes, second and third with 1 out. YD keeping their infield in the same spot for the second straight batter halfway in. Decent sized gap up the middle, with Brady Day shadowed a little more up the right side at second. 1-2 is fought off. YD has performed very well at Red Wilson Field this season. 11-3-1 the record at home, 6-9 on the road. They've also been pretty dominant interleague, 10-5 against divisional opponents. The 1-2 drops low, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A .500 record at 7-7-1 against teams from the West. Two balls, 2 strikes as O'Hara fires. This one lifted out towards center field. Montgomery going back on it, and it's over his head. 1 run scores, and that'll be all, as the runners were not off with contact. Pearson will stop at third. It's an RBI double for Will Turner.
The catcher out of Missouri,
Ball that looked like a fly ball that might be caught and potentially shallow enough to keep a run off the board, but it just kept carrying, so far so that it carried over the head of Braden Montgomery in center. Brewster tacks on another run, make it 13-7 Whitecaps here in the top of the 7th. Second extra base hit of the inning. And now Dylan Leach will get another at-bat. He's 1 for 2 after coming on as a pinch hitter in the 5th. Singled in that pinch hit opportunity and was rung up his last time at the plate. This is his 3rd straight inning with an at-bat. Pitch on the way. It's lifted up in the air, left side, and out of play, 1-2. 19 hits for Brewster in this game. Trying to fly through the pages of my scorebook to figure out if that's ever happened. I don't think it has in a game.
I think that's a 17 hits so far. Could be 19 soon. Oh, 19 on the scoreboard. 17 on the scoreboard, but 19 hits in the game. Oh, my gosh.
2 balls and a strike. It can be hard to keep track of. Ball 3 upstairs. Of course, the live stats does all the work for you when you're putting it in. On the scoreboard, you got to count them all up yourself. But we have not seen 19 hits in a game yet this year. Pitch is fouled back. Whitey put up 17 in that 14-run effort against Falmouth. But we've never seen this amount that Brewster has put up today. It's been a strong offensive effort for Jamie Shevchuk's club. Another payoff to Leach, and it's high for ball 4. That'll load the bases. Ryan Stafford out to talk with Connor O'Hara. Unless my eyes are deceiving me, Max Vieira is throwing in the Whitey bullpen right now. We've reached that territory. So this might get fun. Meeting between Stafford and O'Hara is broken up.
It's definitely him.
Vieira thought he was going to get the day off, and instead is going to maybe come into this one. First pitch on the way is a broken bat foul ball to Jaime Ferrer. So he's got to go get some new lumber. Scrolling through Baseball Reference just out of curiosity, and Max Vieira does not have any collegiate appearances as a pitcher unless this is missing something. He's a third baseman, so he has a strong arm, but that'd be something to make your first ever collegiate appearance as a pitcher in the Cape Cod League of all places. We might see it, though. Who knows? Flash a nice breaking ball over there on the left side. I'm very excited now. 0-1 pitch to Ferrer. That's framed up nicely on the outer corner, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes to Ferrer, who's reached base every time. 3 for 4 with 2 doubles, a single, and a fielder's choice. Rolls the 0-2 foul. No balls and 2 strikes. One thing that I've learned in calling baseball for a few years is that as the 0-2 pitch comes in, it's lifted in the air, right field. Casey Cook backtracking on it. Now frantically coming in, he makes the catch. Runner bluffs from third as the throw comes in. It's cut off. Second out of the inning. There's always something interesting happening in a game, even if the score line maybe doesn't indicate it. There's always something that can be fun that's going on. Always something that'll draw your attention. 2 gone for Mason White with the bases still loaded in the 7th. Makes sense that this coaching staff wouldn't want to burn through the rest of the bullpen in a game like this when you're not going to get another off day until Saturday, and then it's just a brief 1 day off instead of what was scheduled to be 2. As the first pitch comes high and away for ball 1, and even though it is an off day, some of your guys are going to have to pitch as you got 2 of your top pitchers in Landon Beidelshees and Leighton Finley in the All-Star game. White is 2 for 4. Base hits each of his last 2 times up. He grounded out both at-bats previously. Tops that one foul, 1-1. O'Hara deals. Lifted up, left side. This should be playable to end the inning. Darby backtracking in foul territory, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So despite all that activity on the bases, Brewster only picked up 1 run, but they still have a commanding 6-run lead as we're in the 7th inning stretch. 13-7 our score. Stay tuned. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League Broadcast Network. Bottom of the 7th inning from Brewster. Luke West Poley with Perri Kitei alongside. Whitecaps leading the Red Sox 13-7. And we'll have a pinch hitter for Hunter Hines as Manny Garza will pinch hit for him. Coach Pickler getting Garza some at-bats here late in this game. So Hines will finish the day hitless, although he did score a run. And he takes a strike on the lower part of the zone from Drew Blake, who returns to the mound. Of course, our attention during that break all on the bullpen as Max Vieira continues to warm up for YD. That one off the end of the bat. Sounded like it might have cracked it, but Manny Garza is going to stay with it at 0-2. Garza out of Rice. Takes the ball in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 for his first 3 here on Cape Cod. A couple of abbreviated appearances. He's yet to play a full game. That trend will continue, of course, today, coming on as a late sub. Hits this one pretty well out towards left center field. Turner coming over, backing up at the wall, and he makes the catch. That's the first out of the inning. Got underneath that one just a little bit. Sounded good off the bat. Struck it to the warning track, but it'll go down as an F8 in the scorebook. And now Ryan Stafford will be up to the plate for his 4th time. He's reached base all 3 trips previously with a single, bookended by a pair of free passes, a walk, and a hit by pitch. Stafford takes the ball inside 1-0. And he rolls this one left side, coming over from short. A long throw onto first will not be in time from Peyton Green as Stafford legs it out for his second single of the day.
A heroic effort from Peyton Green, reminiscent of El Capitan, but not enough in time.
Ryan Jackson will pinch hit for Brady Day. Everybody getting their at-bats in here today. First pitch is on the way. It's a check swing foul ball. Whitey dugout is all crowded to one side for some reason that I cannot put my finger on. Everybody was standing around the area where you usually wait to go and hit if you're in the hole. 0-1 pitch is painted on the outside corner for strike two. Jackson down 0-2 with a runner on first, one away. Tall stance from Drew Blake. He bounces that one in along secondary from Stafford, but he will retreat. Stafford has already gone with a pitch once today. You remember back to the fourth inning when Whitey rallied. Really the starter of that was the double by Brady Day on the hit and run. This one is hit pretty well out towards right center field. Now at the warning track, the catch will be made as Will Turner has the room on Ryan Jackson. 2 gone in the seventh as Xander Darby will hit for himself. Connor Dykstra's made his way back from the bullpen, so Max Vieira's done throwing. Maybe we'll see him in the eighth. Darby takes a front door breaking ball for strike one. Got an RBI his last time up on a fielder's choice that he legged out. That brought in Whitey's final run to this point in the fifth. This time he lines it over to the left side. That's a base hit past Turner. This is going to get all the way to the wall with the wide gap. And now Stafford's going to come around third, and he's going to score. That ball looked like it might be a line out to short. Ended up being an RBI double for Xander Darby as he brings in Ryan Stafford. And the Red Sox get a run back in the bottom of the seventh. It's 13-8.
At UNC Chapel Hill, number 16, Casey Cook.
And with Casey Cook at the plate, I mean, if you bring in that run from second, you make it a 4-run game. Feels like chances are significantly higher than they are right now with the man in scoring position. Casey Cook takes the ball low.
YD does seem to do their most damage on 2 outs, and Casey Cook's already come up clutch once today.
RBI single in the fourth. This time he takes ball 2. Dub Gleed is on deck for the Red Sox. He has doubled and scored and grounded out for an RBI. Takes another ball. 3-0 to Casey Cook. Ball 4. I'm not saying it's happening, but it could be. 2 gone and 2 on for Dub Gleed.
Don't you announcers jinx this now. Gleed is 1 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. Nice day for the first baseman out of UC Irvine.
He has power to bring Whitey potentially within 2, and he rolls it onto the ground towards third. And I spoke too soon, side retired. Red Sox do get 1 as Ryan Stafford is brought in on the RBI double from Xander Darby, and it's a 13-8 ball game headed to the 8th. Max Vieira looks like he's coming down to the mound. We might see him in the next inning. Stay tuned for that. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Max Vieira enters the game in the top of the 8th for YD. On the bump, he comes in relief of Connor O'Hara. And to the extent of our knowledge and research, this is the first time that Vieira will pitch against college players in his career. Here's the first offering, and it sinks low for ball 1. As we've got another pinch hitter at the plate for Brewster. It's Peyton Green, who actually came on as a defensive sub. Pitch misses outside, 2-0. Vieira into the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. The breaking ball, and the dugout goes wild. Got him to chase 2-1.
You see that a lot, guys chasing extra at position player pitchers.
Yeah, the 2-1 slides away. I see some horizontal movement on that pitch. 3 balls and a strike to Green. Vieira deals, and that bounces in for ball 4. So Vieira walks the first hitter that he sees in Peyton Green. And that will bring up James Tibbs.
Looked like he had some good stuff warming up, but it's a lot different when there's actually a batter standing in that box and you're worried about hitting him, worried about not leaving it right over the plate. Puts a lot more pressure on you to locate.
Tibbs takes the ball outside. He is 2 for 4 with a walk, a single, and a home run. The best pitching statistics we could find on Max Vieira were all the way back from 2019 at a perfect game showcase. That's a beautiful breaking ball in there for strike 1. And so his infield and fastball velocity as of 2019 was 89 miles an hour. This one rolled on the ground to second. Jackson to second for 1. The throw on to first is not in time. He nearly drew the double play. But he does get the fielder's choice, and he has pitched at least 1/3 of an inning in the Cape Cod League. James Tibbs reaches on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Brock Tibbetts. Brewster's scored in every inning so far. Vieira trying to be the first among the YD pitching staff to get a scoreless frame.
And this will be Jared Jones pinch hitting for the Red Sox.
Jones from LSU takes a first pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1. Vieira set, he lifts the knee and fires. That pitch drops down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Vieira takes a look over at second. And now sets. Pitch flies outside. 2-1. Vieira out there, he reminds me almost of a pitcher from the early 1900s, just with the attire that he's got on. He's got the high socks. Throws the 2-1 outside. 3 balls and a strike. Also doesn't have the larger stature that you normally see out of pitchers. As he deals ball 4. 5'10", Max Vieira. So not small by any means, but looks smaller in relation to some of the other guys we see pushing 6'5", 6'6", even all the way up to 6'8" on this YD pitching staff. Josh Pearson will bat. Also should be noted that Ryan Stafford has been taken out of the game in favor of Connor Dykstra. Dykstra was the one in the bullpen who was catching for Max Vieira. The first pitch is fouled off. Pearson has doubled twice, also has a single. Feels like everybody's had a stat padding day on the Brewster side of things.
Vieira ahead in the count versus Josh Pearson.
Ball and a strike. I've already seen him get a ground ball If he could do it again, Whitey could potentially turn that inning-ending double play. The 1-1 drops low, 2-1. Two balls, one strike. The pitch popped up out towards the pretty deep outfield. Montgomery and Cook over to it. Montgomery makes the catch in the right center gap. Runner tagging for third. And Tibbs will arrive there safely. YD threw back to the base, hoping they could get the call that Tibbs left early, but umpire Tony Bernetti said he was on time.
Number 1, Davis Diaz.
And so there are two gone and runners on the corners for Davis Diaz. High stakes here. Diaz a triple away from the cycle. Max Vieira, meanwhile, trying to hang the first 0 in the score column in an inning for Brewster at the plate all game long. Diaz takes the ball low. One-0 count and pitch. Breaks inside, 2-0.
That one was real close. That's not a bad pitch at all. I think that totally could have been called a strike on another day. I think Vieira not getting the benefit of the doubt over here. Diaz is also not at the front of the box.
The 2-0 drops low for ball 3. Three balls and no strikes with Will Turner on deck for the Whitecaps. To get him over strike, so it won't be a 4-pitch walk. Vieira's not getting any position player benefit in terms of the strike zone. He's got to throw legitimate strikes. This one is launched out to left field, going back Austin at the wall, and he makes the catch. Max Vieira with a scoreless frame in the top of the 8th. And the Red Sox finally get a 0, and it comes from their shortstop. 13-8 our score, headed to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Red Sox baseball in the Cape League.
Leading off for the Red Sox.
Bottom of the 8th, and a new pitcher into the game for Brewster. As Brennan Phillips takes things over, Enzo Apodaca came on as a defensive sub, and he is in to hit for the first time. Brennan Phillips taking the mound out of Oklahoma State. The lefty deals the first pitch, and Apodaca pokes it foul. YD coming off their first scoreless inning in the field from Max Vieira. position player came in to pitch and got a scoreless frame. 0-1 is jammed foul. I think it might have plunked somebody in the YD dugout on the leg, but everybody seems to be okay. The whip for Max Vieira maybe won't look great, but the ERA sure will, as he is perfect through 1 inning in terms of the earned runs. 0-2, this one lined out to center field. Long run in from Will Turner, but he makes the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. Theo Hardy coming to the plate. Whitey's down to their final 5 outs. Hardy is hitless. He's 0 for 3. And the first pitch is lifted up and out of play. No balls, 1 strike to Hardy. The pitch high at the shoulders. One ball, 1 strike. The pitch down and in. 2-1. Whitey with 8 runs off 7 hits. Put together a nice rally in the 4th to take the lead, but things have not gone their way since. 3 balls and a strike now to Hardy. Growing darker here at Red Wilson Field. 7:34 p.m. local time. The 3-1 pitch at the shoulders for ball 4.
Your attention, please. In the pitch for the Whitecaps out of Oklahoma State, number 28, Brennan Phillips.
Braden Montgomery looking for his first hit so far. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Runner on first with 1 away. Lefty on righty for Montgomery. First pitch is in there for a strike. Red Sox dugout is still pretty rowdy and has some life in it. It's just been one of those days. No balls and a strike as the pitch comes in. And Montgomery rolls it over himself. 0-2. First time really all season we haven't seen strong pitching performance from YD. It's just been tough going in this one. They've handed the ball off to a couple of bullpen arms, and Brewster has dealt with every single one. 0-2, chopped up to second, a 2-ball. The flip on to second for 1. The throw on to first is not in time. Montgomery beats it out on the back end for the fielder's choice, and the inning continues. Manny Garza will get his second look at the plate.
Number 26, Manny Garza.
Garza flew out to center field in his first at-bat after pinch hitting for Hunter Hines in the last inning. Garza takes a pitch down and in, 1-0. Headed into his junior year at Rice, out of Rio Grande City, Texas. Takes upstairs for ball 2. He's one of the best hitters in the lineup for the Owls. Had 53 hits in 53 games. Takes 2-0 pitch inside, ball 3. Connor Dykstra set to make his first plate appearance in the on-deck circle after he came on for a defensive sub of Ryan Stafford. 3-0 misses, ball 4. 2-out walk by Brennan Phillips, and that will move the inning along for Connor Dykstra.
Number 22 from George Mason University, Connor Dykstra.
Dykstra has struggled at the plate all season, has 3 hits. One of them, however, is a home run. He is the only guy on the roster not batting 100 at least.
Home run came against Chatham at Veterans Field. As pitcher-catcher conference going on right now. Showing that type of power to put YD within 2. Ryan Jackson is on deck. Pinch hit in the last inning, flew out to center. Still growing darker by the minute here at Red Wilson Field. Red Sox have shown that they can put up 5 in an inning already once today. But with 2 outs, a very tall task certainly as a ball dealt up high to Dykstra. .0 is hit pretty well out towards right field. Ferrer going back at the wall, and he leaps up, and he got it in the glove for out number 3. Another web gem, the second of the day by the Brewster outfield. And they continue to kill these YD rallies with 2 outs as the Red Sox fail to plate a run in the 8th. On to the 9th inning we go from Red Wilson Field. You're watching Red Sox baseball on the Cape League broadcast. Max Vieira is out there for his 2nd inning of work as we're in the top of the 9th inning. It's 13-8, Brewster leading YD. Red Sox had a rally killed by a web gem in right by Jaime Ferrer in the last inning. Will Turner bats to begin the frame. And he takes a first pitch strike, dotted up on the inner corner, 0-1. Turner has scored 2 runs. He's 2 for 5. Single and a double, fielder's choice. Now he's reached base, and Vieira hits him. Typically, when you see a batter get hit, there's a dugout yelling at him. It's usually the opposing dugout, but it was the YD dugout that time yelling at Max Vieira, who issues his 3rd free pass. Got through the last inning without giving up a run. The first pitch comes in and sweeps a strike on Dylan Leach. Interesting to note also that 3 base runners in the inning, but Vieira did go through it hitless, so still waiting on that first knock against him. And he hits a 2nd straight batter.
So we talked about the cycle earlier today, and not to change the subject a little bit, but I looked over to the Brewster dugout and I saw a very familiar looking bleached head, and it's actually Derek Bender, a Bourne player who is in the Brewster dugout. Maybe has a couple friends on the team, though I don't know if any of them go to Coastal Carolina, but he's right there in the middle of them, cheering them on, and maybe he's gifted some of that hard-hitting energy.
First pitch is a high breaking ball in there for ball 1. Bourne got the off day, so I guess Bender thought his time was best spent coming to another team's game. Fair enough. That ball fouled away, 1-1. Pitch to Ferrer. Ducks away, 2-1. I'll give Vieira credit. You typically see when a position player comes out to pitch, a guy either try to gas up and throw a bunch of fastballs, or he's just lobbing ephyses in there. As the breaking ball throws outside. He has a legitimate pitch mix. Seems like a regular pitcher out there. He has a breaking ball. He has a fastball. That's ball 4. Location's been a little bit off, but what can you expect? They're loaded with nobody out for Mason White.
Second baseman on the University
White is
of
2 for 5 with 2 singles. Vieira's perfect ERA in jeopardy here. Whitey's got nobody out in the bullpen. First pitch is a dotted strike on the outer corner to Mason White, 0-1. Chopper over towards second base. The only play is to first, and it's made by Jackson for the out. Run scores. No more perfect ERA for Max Vieira. As the runners move up to second and third, that eliminates the force, but he does record the first out of the top of the ninth. Back to the top of the order we go. Peyton Green, who served as the second pinch hitter out of the 1 spot for Brewster, making his second plate appearance. He walked back in the last inning. Takes the ball low from Vieira. 14-8 is the score, with the Whitecaps leading the Red Sox. One rolled over foul. Nice bare hand by the third base coach for Brewster. Stinger. Ball and a strike to Peyton Green out of NC State. Pitch yanked way outside. Really nice stop by Connor Dykstra. So for Vieira, hasn't given up a wild pitch yet either. 2-1 bounces down low for ball 3. See if he can go 2 innings of no hit ball. We'll have to see about that. Whitey infield is shifted with 3 on the left side. Out of the windup now, and this one grounded over towards the second base bag. Jackson shifted over there, makes the play on to first for the out. Another run comes in to score as Ferrer moves up to third and Leach comes across. 15-8 now the score after the RBI ground out from Peyton Green, but Vieira keeping Brewster out of the hit column. James Tibbs is at the plate. Single and a home run on the day. Swings at the first pitch, and it's a foul ball just barely. Brewster dugout rowdily disagrees, but that will go down as strike 1. No balls and a strike. Sky high foul ball on the left side. 0-2 to James Tibbs as YD will quickly move their shift. They've got Ryan Jackson pretty deep out there in right field. He's playing almost in mid-outfield. The 0-2 pitch fouled off. That one looked like it had a little extra behind it for Max Vieira. He smiles as he gets the ball back. We saw him flash a quick pitch also during the mid-inning break that hasn't used yet. 0-2 breaking ball is lifted foul.
Vieira,
Everybody wants the strikeout, you can tell.
he's just hammering the zone right now. That one was a breaking ball and a fastball before it.
He's ahead 0-2. How crazy would this place go if he could bury a breaking ball and produce a swing and miss for strike 3? Dykstra's going to set up outside as the pitch comes in. It's high and away.
Well, James Tibbs has had a really nice day himself. 2 for 5 with a walk, a single, and a home run. He's also reached on a fielder's choice.
Vieira raised his sights. Now the 1-2. He tried to bring him down, and Tibbs knew better.
4 RBIs for Tibbs as well. Could tack onto that with Ferrer on third.
He, along with Mason White, each have 4 batted in this game. 2-2 called, strike three. Painted him on the outside corner. And Max Vieira takes the strut off the field. Brewster gets a couple of runs, but Max Vieira throws 2 hitless innings and gets a strikeout as the position player in relief. Our score is 15-8. Not much to be positive about YD-wise, but that's certainly something. Headed to the bottom of the 9th. It's on the way, and we'll be here for it here on the Cape League Broadcast Network.
USC, number 6, Ryan Jackson.
Bottom of the 9th, it's a 7-run game with Brewster out in front. Sky has gotten very dark, but in all likelihood, this one will not need to go too much longer. Ryan Jackson at the plate for the second time. He's 0 for 1 with a flyout after pinch hitting in the 7th. The first pitch outside from Brennan Phillips, who's back on the mound. Max Vieira has stolen the show late in this game for YD, the position player who has never pitched in college. Jackson lines this one into left field for a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for YD. Vieira dealt out 2 hitless innings, I should say, not 2 scoreless innings. He hit 2 batters and walked 3, but he did not give up a hit, and he capped it all off with a strikeout against James Tibbs, who had 4 RBIs on the day and has been one of Brewster's top hitters.
An all-star starter on Saturday.
Xander Darby lines this one into center, and the leaping catch is made as Turner boings up and makes the grab.
The right fielder out of UNC Chapel Hill.
1 gone in the 9th. Casey Cook is 1 for 3.
I don't know if I've ever heard the word boing used as a verb before.
I take after Mike Emmerich. What can I say? First pitch is in there for strike 1. Not quite to that level, but I do my best. 100 and something different verbs he used during one broadcast. Cook lines it up the middle. That's a base hit. Everybody's just having fun here in the late innings, as are we. They're on first and second with 1 out for Doug Gleed. So now with first and second, if YD gets a single and then another single and another single and another single and then a home run, the game is tied.
What a crazy sequence of events that would be.
Gleed hits this one a mile in the air out towards center. Turner has the room. Backpedaling, he will make the catch. Jackson doesn't even bluff, really, just takes a step off second base. Draws the throw anyway, but it is on line. And the Red Sox are down to their final out. This game is stretched over 3 hours. 3 hours and 9 minutes right now since first pitch, but plenty of action has come between now and then. We've seen 23 runs. Enzo Apodaca is 0 for 1. Thought about swinging at the first pitch. Instead, he takes a strike on the outer half. Apodaca flew out to center field. That area of the outfield's been getting a lot of action on the Brewster side of things. Will Turner has been excellent there defensively for the Whitecaps. 0-1 rises high, a ball and a strike. Apodaca came into the game hitting .312. Cape League All-Star. Nubs this one into left field. This should do it. Tibbs coming over into the gap. He makes the catch, and the ball game is over. 15-8 the final score, with Brewster taking down YD on an outlier type of day for the Red Sox as they give up what for the moment is a season high of 19 hits. See if all those hits end up standing. Got some word that there might be some scoring changes, but we will have to check on those tomorrow. As for right now, it stands as the most hits and most runs YD has given up all season as they drop this one to the Brewster Whitecaps by a 15-8 score. Perri, we talked about it a little bit before things kind of got crazy at the end there, but first time really all season that the pitching hasn't held its weight on the YD side of things. Tough to see. Called it an outlier with the game just ending a moment ago, but you have to make sure that you are reinforcing the fact that it is an outlier tomorrow. You need to rebound tomorrow in a big way against Hyannis.
Absolutely, Luke. YD won 2 games in a row, and this one at home. Brewster was just seeing everything, and it felt like they could not miss. The only 0 on the scoreboard was the 8th, thanks to Max Vieira's heroics, but YD certainly has to bounce back tomorrow. The offense had a good day of their own, 9 hits, and Casey Cook, more importantly, has continued his hot streak. He's really finding his rhythm here finally with the wood bats. That's something that's a real positive thing to take away from today's game. Interested to see how Braden Montgomery adjusts after today, his first game out here. But this one, it ended up being a little fun, but unfortunately still comes away with the loss.
So with the loss, YD drops to 17-13-1 on the season. They still keep their lead atop the rest of the East Division for the day, and they will be back in action tomorrow as they will take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 4:45 start time, as always, in that one for the Red Sox, as it will be the back end of a couple straight home games before YD hits the road. Micah Bucknam out of LSU scheduled to get the start tomorrow here at Red Wilson for YD, and we hope you will tune in then. Until tomorrow, so our entire crew, Anna Tedeschi, our producer, my partner Perri Kitei, my name is Luke West Poley, saying so long. YD drops this one to Brewster, 15-8, the final score. We'll see you tomorrow.